What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Sunday for Dude to Bet Daily. This should be a fun day, Papa Dude, because the brooms are out. We went 3-0. Everything was good yesterday. But instead, we have to talk about something bad because, we're a horse racing company. So what else would we talk about on a Sunday? Okay, I'll read off kind of the latest update on this, and then we'll get into it. So Tampa Bay Downs, if you didn't bet yesterday and you're just hearing this for the first time, which doesn't seem likely, but if that is the case, their tote system basically stopped working after the 10th race. And the problem is race 11 was the Tampa Bay Derby. So obviously their biggest race of the meet. It's a non-wagering race. They did run the race, sort of. If you want to call what those horses did running in that race at Tampa Bay Downs. But again, no wagering on the race. So obviously big problem. The tote system all across the country was failing. However, Tampa Bay Downs was the only one where they didn't get to run the race as a betting race. So if you're watching, let's say Santa Anita, for example, it might take 10, 15 minutes to get your payouts. You were getting them, though, and you were able to wager on the races. So huge difference in, well, I had to wait 10 extra minutes to get my money on Kinza yesterday versus what was happening at Tampa Bay Downs. Latest update before we get into this incredible disaster. And I'll get your thoughts on here in just a second. I just want to read the update real quick for everybody. If you haven't seen it, Matt Haggerty has posted an article on the Daily Racing Forums. It's the very first article if you go to the Daily Racing Forum. And it basically, Peter Berube, the top official at Tampa Bay, wants a independent third-party investigation into this situation, which, by the way, do not blame Tampa Bay for this. This is the tote system. This is not Tampa Bay Downs' fault. He said he's never seen anything like this in 30 years of racing. Again, a full investigation. He's calling for it. And he says he was hoping that this day would bring $17.5 million of handle, because that's what it brought last year. They were at $13.5 million before the tote went out. So I would say this situation has probably cost $5 million. Just in handle is my estimation there. So, okay, all of that's the latest that's going on, Papa Dude. We got to get your thoughts on this situation.
Everybody thinks, I want to make something perfectly clear. I am not against computers.
Oh, you're backtracking now. Okay.
No. Have I?
Oh, this is a victory for you. The computers failed.
This is not a victory. I've often been at the track, and I've thought to myself, how did they ever do betting before we had this system? I have no idea.
Yeah.
How they did. How in the world did that work? And I've often thought, what would happen if the whole system went down?
Yeah.
I've sat there and I've watched this, and how they get the money in. You all have misunderstood me. I am not against computers. I'm against computers in certain situations. Like, I don't need a computer to tell me who's going to be in the Final Four. I don't need a computer to tell me who should be in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
That is total bullshit, because somebody puts information into that computer. I don't need somebody to tell me Florida State's got the 98th ranked schedule. I already know that.
Right.
I already know that. You don't need to tell me that.
Right.
No, I already know they don't play the teams Oklahoma does. But when you let an Oklahoma in the tournament that's 20-12 because they have a better schedule and blah, 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 this computer spits out all this shit, you're just rewarding mediocrity.
Right.
That's what I don't like. And I don't like computers teaching your school children.
Right.
They can't do it.
So get to this, though. Tampa Bay Downs, this is probably, other than maybe the Breeders' Cup situation at Del Mar, this is probably the worst thing I've ever seen in this sport.
I don't know enough about it yet to comment on it. I don't think any of us do. I agree totally with you. I don't see how you can blame Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because they were in an unfortunate circumstance to where their races were still going on, and their big one was just getting ready to come. This could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just don't I don't know how you can blame them. It's like you say, it's just another black eye in racing. Um, you were telling me off air they haven't updated their system in what 30 years, I think.
Oh yeah, it's an ancient system that's used for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's used by every track in the country, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
correct. Yeah,
so every track in the country knows that this hasn't been updated.
correct. Yeah,
Well, why weren't they all raising hell about this?
yeah. Well, that's a great point, and this isn't the first time this has happened. It's probably the first time it's happened to this degree right before you're getting ready to run a big race. So, I mean, that is definitely, maybe it's eye opening, but yeah, it isn't the first time it's happened. People have known that this system is way outdated. And look, I mean, I think you can look no further than how the odds drastically change minute to minute once you get close to the post when the computer money comes in and this and that. They're not really real-time odds. They update kind of like you would a ticker board would, basically,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Well, I don't know what you do about that either. Do you?
I mean, yeah, you get the best technology possible and update
So you're
the
saying
system.
if they update the technology,
Yeah,
odds, this will solve this problem of the odds changing so much when they come out of the gate.
You would get a much faster,
right,
like real-time look at how the odds are changing if you updated the system.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you
for sure.
Okay, so does that go back to you're savvy in this because you're going to talk about your website and all the stuff you guys have to do to protect yourself.
Yeah,
you have to pay for that out of your pocket, right?
Right. Yeah. So
so if we wanted to update this tote system, all of these tracks would have to divvy up a little bit of money to get that updated.
I really don't know the situation it is with
Okay,
that.
okay.
I'm thinking that would probably be the case. It might be a track by track basis. I don't know the details. I don't really want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really want to comment on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the technology is there, and it's there in a big way. And it's. I mean, even if you updated it to the 90s, you would be updating it based on what they're using right now. So that's kind of the problem. It's very outdated, and like I said, you've missed 30 updates since the last time they've done it, basically. Yes. So yeah, speaking from my standpoint, because I deal with outages all the time.
Sure.
Okay. The first thing you do and again, I know I'm operating at a much smaller scale than the Amtote system, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing you do, and listen, this is a big website for horse racing, right? The first thing you got to do, you got to be on a server that is bigger than you really need, right? Because you need that room of, if you get an influx of traffic, this thing's not going to go down. And when you have bigger days, you bump up the server even more just to make sure you're going to go down. You constantly have to take precautions to make sure your website doesn't go down.
And does that cost you extra to do that?
Of course. Okay. Yes.
I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Yeah. Every time a server gets bumped up in size, that is an extra, amount per month. But the biggest thing, and this is what I'll tell people, and when you're in my shoes or even the Amtote people's shoes or anybody that's operating a website, your website can go down at any moment.
Sure.
Right now, as I'm talking, this website could go down. So what you have to do, and we learned this the hard way, you have to have people sitting there ready to act right when it goes down. You have to have like your plan of operation when this thing fails. For example, I bet you don't know this. I bet 99% of the people that use our website don't know this. Our website randomly crashed Thursday for no reason. It wasn't traffic. It wasn't anything. It just randomly would not load. If I don't have a fail-safe like system in place, it could be a couple hours before it's back on.
Which kills you.
Exactly. It could be an hour. It could be 5. we have it in place now. When the website goes down, we send an email to the company, and within 2 minutes, if they don't have it up, they at least are on the situation trying to figure out what it is. And any crash that we have now, it's 5 minutes at the most now.
Yeah.
And it's back up because we know that has to happen.
Oh, you can't be down.
If we had a website that isn't, hey, you have to be on this website to get it's real-time content. Like if we didn't have a website like that, we wouldn't do it. But if you have a site where any minute of any day you're down costs you money, you have to make that. Well, you have to set up the system like that. You just have to. And that's what I don't get from the standpoint of shit breaks, folks. It happens. And I'll tell you this, the crash on Thursday on our website, our developers still have no idea why it happened.
Well,
but
it's
they
technology.
fixed it. Exactly. But they fixed it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it just happens.
So it boggles my mind that they didn't have some kind of system in place to be like, okay, emergency situation. They're getting ready to run the Tampa Bay Derby. We have a huge problem here. Here's a quick fix.
Fixed, yeah.
That's the part that shows me they either are inept or they don't care, because that's the only two answers to that. It is. And there's no, and I don't want to hear any debate. I live it.
Yeah.
You either don't care or you're inept. That's
Well,
all it is.
It's not just Tampa Bay. Think of all of the tracks that they have.
Yeah.
They've got to have that system.
Because
I mean, Tampa Bay lost a ton of money that they need.
Yeah.
To operate through the year. People don't realize.
Yeah.
We're talking $5 million. Write that down and see all the zeros.
Right. And this is Tampa. This is not a track that's going to be able to make that up easily.
That's right.
Yeah. But so what Mark says here, imagine if this happened 20 minutes before the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it's true.
It could. The thing is,
well, it could.
It could happen.
You don't ever know when the refrigerator's going to go out, right?
That's just it. And to Mark's point, in 2021, it's 21 or 22. I'm not sure. I think it was 21. It was 21. Our site crashed on Kentucky Derby Day.
Ooh.
Okay. And now it was known. It was way more traffic than we thought was going to be on the site that day. If we're tote and we don't have any backups and we can't fix a problem, we would have lost the biggest day of our racing calendar.
Which would have, you couldn't have got it back.
And you never, ever get the Kentucky Derby Day back if you miss it. No. And that's exactly why you have the situation, because if it's going to break in the worst times, it will do it. We've learned it, right? So, and again, we had a fail safe. It was 15 minutes. It was back up. We got like 3 emails. Hey, where it is? Where is it? You send them email right back. Hey, it's back up. Great. And we're on.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that baffles me the most. It just baffles me that people didn't get paid out until like midnight last night.
Yeah.
Just say this is crazy, but
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's it frustrates. You ever gone into a bank and their computers are down? They can't do shit.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
You go into a store, you want to buy something. I'm sorry, we can't do it because our credit card machine's down.
Right.
Well, it's because everything's connected to the computers,
But again, we've been in a store where the credit card machine was down, and you made a couple phone calls and they fixed it.
Yeah, right.
And again, I just can't stress it enough. You may be on our website today at 3:00 in the afternoon and it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it can happen anytime.
It's so easy
and it is
work.
Stressful and a mess, and you just feel awful.
Yeah.
But all you can do is do everything you can to make sure that doesn't happen, which we do. And it really doesn't crash very often, but I knock on wood because I don't want to really say that. But when it does, you have to have a fail-safe system. You just have to.
Yeah. I think everybody thinks, well, you can fix fix it when it goes down?
No.
No, very few people in the world can. So
And that's just it. And that's another thing we learned. You can try to save money. A lot of places don't do it on developers.
Yeah.
Don't do it on technology. You pay the
No.
people who are good to do it,
That's
or
right.
you're going to look like a fool.
That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. And I swear to you guys, I literally have a guy and he will respond 24/7 if that thing goes down. So
Yeah, that's what you got to have.
And we are, I mean, yes, we're a very big site for what we do, but we are a very small portion, minute of the internet, and we have a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not ESPN, you know. So if we can have a guy, somebody that's operating the tote system for all across the country in horse racing, come on. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Agree. So. I think what you're saying is there's no excuses for what happened yesterday.
Zero.
Yeah.
And again, if it goes down and it takes 20 minutes and it's back, everybody is just complaining. I would just tell them, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
They fixed it. It worked.
Yeah.
But what happened yesterday is absolutely embarrassing on all levels. No matter what the explanation is, it's a joke. And that's where I'll stop with it. Again, this is coming from a guy that knows it is when shit doesn't work and your ass is on the line. It is a sick feeling, but to not get it corrected, is a joke.
Yeah,
and there's
in no an outfit that big.
There's no excuse.
That's right. There isn't. Like you say, down for 20 minutes, nothing you can do about it.
If the country loses power, maybe that's the only excuse for you, right? Because then nobody can do anything. But
that's right.
Other than that, yeah. So, all right. Well, we got that over with. That was fun. Let's go to some basketball games. No way to transition from this. Let's go to some basketball games now. And let's go. We're going to go conference championship games. Yeah. Missouri Valley to kick it off. I think this is going to be a good game. Drake, Indiana State.
Yep.
Indiana State 2.5-point favorites. Total at 150.5. I think both these teams have to win to get in. I really do.
Yeah. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because both of these teams are really, really good. And they've been in a competitive league this year. The Missouri Valley has been weak in the past. This has been a tough league. There was 4 or 5 teams that either were right at 19 or 20 wins.
Yeah.
So this was a tough conference. Both of these teams have fantastic records. You don't have anything to do today around 2:00. Turn this on. This will be the best game of the day, probably.
Yeah.
Indiana State's got all kinds of firepower. Drake's got the old tradition of they're usually at the top. Drake is usually at the top in the Missouri Valley basketball with the women and the men. Yep. So can Indiana State overcome that? I think they will. I think this team is pretty special. Again, I think they both should get in. There's a chance they might. Indiana State may have a better chance as an at-large over Drake.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going Indiana State to cover. I think it'll be a heck of a game.
I'm going to go Indiana State to cover as well. I think it will be a good one, though. That's going to be a rocking atmosphere up in St. Louis today. Yeah, Longwood is also playing for the Big South Championship right now. I didn't add that on the rundown because, like I said, it has started here about 20 minutes ago. Let's go to this one, though. Austin Peay and Stetson. Stetson minus 3.5, total 145.5. They're playing for a conference for a tournament bid today. Who you got in this one?
I think we have one in so far. And that was last night. Morehead State beat Little Rock and sealed their bid into the tournament. Ended Little Rock's long winning streak. Austin Peay was lucky to still be in it. Took a game to overtime in the first round at home. This one's in Florida, I believe. I think it's in Pensacola. Stetson's in Florida.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going here. Stetson's been the better team overall this year. I think they come out on top. I like the Hatters to beat the Governors from Austin Peay today.
All right. I'm going to go with Stetson as well in this one. And the game is in Florida. Like you said, it's in DeLand, Florida, I guess.
Oh, DeLand. Okay. You know what? That's where Stetson's at.
Okay. Well, maybe they play this at home.
Yeah, they must.
Yeah.
I think they do that by round, but by rounds. Like Austin Peay in the quarters, and then I think they went somewhere else. I'm not sure, but Stetson is in DeLand.
Okay. Well, home game. I think they get it done today.
I do too.
Austin P. That is a team you see in the tournament a lot, though.
Yep.
That is a name that's recognizable. So we'll see what happens that one. But I'm with you. I think Stetson gets the job done. This isn't a conference tournament game. This will be next week for the Big Ten. But Illinois -1.5 at Iowa today. Total 171.5. Who you got here?
Well, this is a tough one. Iowa's still got a slim hope of getting into the tournament. They have to win this game to get in. Illinois coming off a tough loss at Purdue or against Purdue. I believe that was at home. And Purdue went in there and whipped them. I like Iowa today to beat Illinois at home. Iowa's pretty tough in Iowa City. So give me the Hawkeyes to upset the Fighting Illini today.
I'm with you. I think Iowa gets the job done today at home. It'd be a huge win for them. They need it, So I think the Hawkeyes get the job done. By the way, the other team in Iowa got beat yesterday, K-State. K-State's one of those teams. When you go to their place, it could get rough.
Oh, well, they play ugly.
Yeah.
And Iowa State kind of plays ugly. And K-State out-uglied them yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how about Houston?
Oh, man. That was crazy. Yep. God. They killed him. They killed him.
Oh, it was a massacre.
Yep. Just start to finish. When I turned on the score, it was like 32-5 or 32-9 or something like that.
The first I saw was 19-2. That was the first one I saw.
God, I mean,
and they just toyed with them. I didn't think Houston played great after they got way ahead, but
I think they probably lost focus a little bit. But
my goodness. Yeah. And the other one, are we done with the rundown?
Yep.
Okay, the other one, watch out for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, it was a huge win. Yep.
Win. I don't know if you watched any of that, but they got way ahead, and then here came Tennessee, rolling, got it down to 3, and Kentucky righted the ship and went and beat them. So they're coming, they're getting it all together at the right time. Watch out for Kentucky.
They look good. They looked very good. That's a huge win for them. All right, let's go to the Gulfstream. Let's go to the race of the day. Gulfstream Park, race 8 on the card. We actually have a stakes race today, the Captiva Island Stakes. 5 furlongs on the turf, $100,000 the purse. Field of 8. Who you got in this one?
Well, I narrowed it down to 2. Probably you did too. Between the 6 and the 1. Did you go that route?
Yep, same exact horses. Yep.
So we have 2 horses. Looks like they're a little bit better than the rest of them. Accomplished Girl is the 6. She has been in better races than the 1, Stone Silent. So you got to decide, do you like the one that's been running in grade 2s and grade 3s, or you like the one that's just been winning small stakes? Accomplished Girl tried distance, didn't work. Going back to sprinting today, I think that's going to help her. Stone Silent has been very, very good. 2 straight wins, 100K and 100K, both at Gulfstream. Used to be trained by Steve Asmussen. 1 by 1 1/4, 1 by 2 1/4 at 5 furlongs, which is what this race is. So you got to decide, do you want the one that's been in better races, or you want the up-and-comer? I'm going to go with the up-and-comer Stone Silent to win.
Yep, me too. I'm going to go Stone Silent to win this one as well. I like the 2 races in a row, back to back there. Looked very, very good. I don't blame anybody for taking Accomplished Girl, though. I think this is a horse that, if you're a class handicapper, you want the 6. The 6 definitely has been the class here. So, Roddy says about the what about the 4? The 4 is Soul Hope, a horse also coming off of a turf allowance win at Tampa Bay Downs. My biggest pause is usually Tampa to Gulfstream doesn't translate all that well. So, you look at the Gulfstream races, they haven't been horrible, but they haven't been great either. So that was kind of my pause on the 4 horse there. But Irad does get a board. That's a pretty good sign. So if you want to take an alternate horse, that's not a bad one to take either. So
sometimes, though, when I see this, I see Irad's aboard. There wasn't anybody for him to ride with.
Yeah.
And it's a stakes race, and it's not that strong. So I think I don't play that. I don't play that theory on this. He hops
Yeah,
aboard this one. None of his trainers have a horse in it, right?
that could be the case. That definitely could be the case for
Yeah.
sure.
And I never been on a horse in a stakes race that's never been in one.
I thought the 8 was going to be really interesting in here. Coming off of a gate to wire win last time out at this distance against allowance horses. I think if the 8 can outbreak the 3 and get the lead, and I kind of think she can. I thought the 8 would be interesting. So I think if you want an alternate horse, the 8 at 8-1 makes sense to me.
Coming off a good win also.
Yep. So I like that. I like that one a little bit as well. All right, let's get to the best bets today. Magic's going to go Laurel Park race number 3 on their card. He's going to go with number 4, Castle Island. This horse drops down to the Maiden Claiming Company for the first time today for Brittany Russell. Also stretches out in distance. I don't think that's going to hurt this horse much at all. So stretch out in distance, drop down in class. I think gets the lead, maybe goes gate to wire. So we'll see what happens here. First time going long for Brittany Russell. And like I said, first time in for the tag. So that makes a lot of sense to me as well. I'm actually excited about a horse today. That's a 3-year-old male. I should qualify, which means this horse will probably run awful because anything you get excited about in this crop right now runs bad. But Tampa Bay Downs race 6. I like the number 2 Protective quite a bit in this spot. Only's ran one time. It was at Saratoga on July 22nd. Got beat 3/4 of a length to a horse named Valentine Candy. I'm sure you know that horse, Papa Dude, has come back for Asmussen and just dominating the sprint circuit there at Oakland Park. So off of a layoff, but I don't really worry about that when it comes to Pletcher. This horse has really nice breeding, sold for $250,000 at the Keeneland sale. Spotted here in a really nice spot. I think this horse could be pretty good. That race was pretty strong there at Saratoga. Now we get him back here. Been working decent. I think the number 2 Protective is going to be a decent horse. So we need decent 3-year-old males. There's no doubt. Maybe this could be one of them. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay Downs race 6, number 2 Protective. All right, Papa Dude, who you got?
I was thinking this is kind of, I don't really mean this obviously, but this is so bad with the 3-year-old crop at the moment. Maybe we need another COVID year.
Right? Yeah. Delay it for 6 months.
Yeah, just delay it.
Get a good horse. Yeah.
We
didn't even talk about the Tampa Bay Derby as a race.
Yeah.
It was horrific. I mean, it was so bad. But again,
what do you expect?
Yeah, people in the Discord are like, "Oh, that was so bad." I was like, "Well, it was pretty much like the rest of them. Like it wasn't that much worse than what I've seen." But anyway, go ahead.
No, it's I don't know.
Bad. It's bad.
Nothing's shaping up. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You realize we're what 6 weeks away or 7 weeks away from the Derby, and no one has any idea what's going on yet.
Yeah, you keep talking about the racing for a second before we transition back. Yeah. We have nothing next week. Thanks, Oakland, for moving the Rebels. So we have nothing. So then it's 3 weekends of massive preps. 23rd, March 23rd, March 30th, April 6th.
Yeah.
I've never went into that massive stretch.
Yeah.
Just having no idea who I even want to think about betting for the Kentucky Derby. So
exactly. It will just maybe something will straighten out. I don't know, but it's not good at the moment.
No.
We need a star to emerge. All right.
We need a decent horse to emerge.
Yeah, just somebody.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
My best bet. Ohio State today goes into Rutgers. This is Team Ohio State. Remember, they made that coaching change about a month ago, maybe a little longer now. Time goes by so fast. And we were commenting at the time, this could go either way. And I remember we had a game as one of our rundown games after the coach he changed. And a lot of times you play better after that coaching change, but we were kind of cautious. We didn't get on it yet. We wanted to see what was going to happen. Well, they've started playing. Yeah. They're playing really well. And they're coming off a huge, just a slaughter over Michigan. Yeah, I know Michigan's not very good, but still they warmed them. They're playing very, very well. They need this game. I think this gets them to 19 and 12. Win a couple in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're in. They have to win this game. They have to. The line is doable. Rutgers is not very good. Give me Ohio State minus a 1.5 to go in there and get this done.
Yeah, I love this one. I think this is a really good play. This is one I looked at a little bit as well as I was kind of gradually going down the rundown for college basketball today. This is a good play. And I'm with you. All the motivation is with Ohio State. They've got it turned around. And you're right. It's right there in front of them. They still have work to do if they win this, obviously.
Yeah.
They cannot lose it. That's the thing.
No, they have to win
this game. Yeah.
The problem is they dug themselves such a hole. I think they're like the 8 in the Big Ten in conference because they lost a lot of conference games.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hurt them to try to make a run through the tournament because they're probably going to play Purdue in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And
I know. And I think you never know, though, with Purdue. You never know.
No, you don't.
All right. Before we get out of here, I do want to mention Rodney talking about Kinza. Of course, Kinza was my best bet yesterday and dominated in her race. And yeah, again, the bad news is, she can't run in the Kentucky Oaks, but, she's a really, really nice horse. I would say Kinza probably will be there Preakness weekend, Rodney, but I bet it's the Black-Eyed Susan that they target with Kinza, or they may wait for the Acorn at Saratoga, or at Saratoga, Belmont at Saratoga this year. So it'll probably be one of those two for Kinza. We'll see what happens. She looked awfully good yesterday. All right. Let's get the best bets here. I'm going to go Tampa Bay race 6, number 2 Protective. Magic's going to go Laurel Park race 3, number 4 Castle Island. Papa Dude's going Ohio State -1.5 for the week after that sweep. And boy, we needed it. We're still down $5 at 5-4, down $5, but now up $1,185 for the year. We've been treading water, I feel like, the last couple of weeks.
It's been tough. I'm telling you, it's been tough. College basketball is tough right now.
Yeah, it has been tough. It has definitely been tough. But listen, let's get 3 more here and let's get
today.
Yep, it'd be great.
Yep.
It'd be great. All right. Well, any final thoughts?
Nope. Enjoy the day. Beautiful day here in Joplin, Missouri.
Yes, give me a nice 3 or 4 day run here, weather-wise. So yeah, it's going to be nice. Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you right back here next week.